Hey, what's up, everybody? Lock 22 Nation, live, pre recorded on YouTube. It's NFL Week 6. We have predictions, we have news, we have all kinds of crazy nonsense to go over. So, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, you caught our Week 5 recap. We go over the games that we got wrong for the most part. Actually, no, we both had pretty good records. Um, but here we are. It's Week 6. We got some fun ones this week. I just looked at the matchups. Holy cow, these are going to be some hard picks. So, yeah, we will let's get to that. But first, covering a bit of news. We're going to start off huge week in college football. Not for our Buffaloes that we talk about frequently because they had a bye. They take on Kansas State on Saturday, and we're going to see is prime time ready for, any kind of actual success in this division. We'll find out. But I know you're aching to talk about this Michigan game, but we're going to start in
Yeah,
Alabama.
well, here's the thing. First of all, how often do you see a rematch of the title game the ensuing year? And how often then are both regimes and teams completely different?
They're totally different.
I
Yeah.
would I would venture to say that's maybe happened one, two other times at most. I can't think of any off the top of my head. However, um, welcome to the Big Ten, Washington. I was like, this is going to be a shitty year to join because, just coming
There's
off
so
of that
there's so
excellent
many
year, we
teams.
lost half of our players to the draft. The other half went with our coach to Alabama in the portal. And so, we got to go with what we got. And so far it's been a rough sailing. We lost to Washington State in the Apple Cup, which I saw coming. I was just like, man, I don't think we can beat them this year. But this Michigan game was awesome. It was so much fun to watch, and I'm loving Washington in the Big Ten, dude. It's my whole life. Like, I grew
Yeah.
up, I grew up Washington State, or not Washington State fan, but in Washington State as a Huskies fan, and now I'm living in the Midwest in Big Ten country, where we went to school here, so we follow Iowa. My parents follow Iowa State. So to be like in right in here, Washington comes to Iowa this week. Uh, when's that ever happened?
I was gonna say you gotta go to that game, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
I still don't hold any delusions of grandeur. I still know it's going to be an uphill battle, and hopefully, this NIL portal thing doesn't just completely ruin football. But our coach has said the 2025 class that he's going to bring in is going to be the best in Washington history. He said that. So I don't know what he's got up his sleeve. Maybe Dion's going to coach.
I was gonna say I think that the first time if Colorado makes the college football playoff, which I don't think they will, but if they do, I think Dion's at a new school the next year. I think we talked about it last week though. Florida State, they're probably going to fire their coach. Yeah, that's his alma mater, so I could see that being a good fit. Um, but yeah, a great win for Washington. This is college football, man. There's so many variables. There's a lot of pressure. These are young kids, and this is the problem with having these national championship teams of these just ungodly recruiting classes is that it's like if you send 13 starters to the NFL, those are 13 guys that are playing for the first time the next year. So,
Well,
it,
just to piggyback on that, our coach, Caleb DeBoer, went to Alabama and took half of our team, and well, they just lost to Vanderbilt.
they just lost to Vanderbilt. I
And
was
they
going to
were
say,
number one in the country before
well, they
this.
beat Georgia.
They were six.
Yeah, they beat Georgia. They're riding high. Go against the like definitively worst team in the SEC ever. Like they have come in last place. I don't know why they're not in Conference USA. They have no business being in the SEC.
Um,
And then they go and they get this win.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
that's one for their history. I mean, they can put
Oh
that
yeah.
in
These
books forever.
the kids that are on Vanderbilt and none of them are going to the NFL. They're going to be at their corporate jobs next year in 20 years from now, and they're going to be at a board meeting and they're going to be talking about something completely unrelated, and one guy's going to stand up and be like, I beat Alabama in 2024. And they're going to be like, we know, Jerry, like, yeah, that this is a story that never ends. All these guys got golfing stories the rest of their lives. They can never take it away from you. You beat the king. You knocked him off his throne. So good job, Vanderbilt, Commodores. Um, Whatever. I don't even know what state Vanderbilt is in. Are they in Tennessee?
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, college, interesting. We love it. Go Dogs. Woof them down. I don't know what your chant is. Let's talk about the NFL. All right. Speaking of elephants in the room, although he looks more kind of like an egg in the room. Robert Saleh, not in any room anymore. He has been fired by the Jets. We saw it coming. I think most fans of football saw it coming. He's a bad coach. It's a bad organization with good players. I mean, what do you got to say about old Robbie here?
Well, dude, I have trouble saying this is Aaron Rodgers' fault. It is directly his fault, but I just have a problem with that because he should have been fired before the season started. There's no reason somebody with that record, and then they get Hackett as their coordinator. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's a come on, man, from the get go.
Seriously, like this guy should have been fired. So
Well, I think that it
Aaron
was
Rodgers not liking him.
I think
Whatever.
that it was easy enough to say, oh, you lost your quarterback 3 plays into the season. You had to, because who was the backup? It was
Back up what?
the who played quarterback for the Jets last year.
Mike White, who didn't play quarterback for the
I was gonna
Jets.
say, like, I'm pretty
Zach
sure
Wilson.
I took some snaps at some point.
Zach
Um,
Wilson.
yeah, like so it's like I think that it's like they were giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh, he's not a bad coach. He just doesn't have his quarterback. I mean, they built the system around Aaron Rodgers and then he gets hurt. So it's like, how do you justify firing the coach when he didn't have all the tools that he was supposed to have? So it's like I understand the mentality, but that's a loser mentality. Like, if you're saying it's good enough, you want to make excuses for your coaches, for your players, for your administration. Excuses don't win Super Bowls. Like put that on a fucking banner and have your players touch it on the way to the field. Like the Jets, the shitty off it's a shitty organization. We'll see who they replace Salah with. I think their season is done this year. I don't think any interim coach is going to come in and fix anything.
Do they
Um,
have one picked?
I honestly don't know. I don't think it matters. Interim coaches don't usually mean anything. It's just like a guy to be like, hey, just keep the players from stealing shit. Like, it's just kind of like a guy that the players know and trust and just like keep it together for long enough to keep everyone like safe, keep us from being embarrassed. Like, I don't see an interim coach taking anybody to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, Andy
Aaron
Reid
Rodgers
keels
last
over.
year.
Let's say Andy Reid keels over on one of his cheeseburgers right now. I don't think an interim coach is taking the Chiefs to the Super Bowl.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
I think somebody in that organization, I mean, they could still do it.
I
But
mean, it's possible. If anybody could do it, it would be that team. But like, the Jets are certainly not the Chiefs.
um, is this Aaron Rodgers last year?
I think it's definitely his last year in a Jets uniform
Okay, fair
because I
enough.
think with how their season is going to go and how they're going to miss the playoffs with while having some shots at it, and Aaron Rodgers is going to make mistakes down the line. He's not going to be the clutch player he was in 2015, 2016, 2017, those years. Like he's not gonna win big games for you. He's already proven that he can't. He couldn't beat the Broncos last 2 weeks ago. He couldn't find a way to win this game. I mean, I understand the Vikings are a great team, but like at the end of the day, it's just like these are the games you got to have. This is like you can't accept mediocrity. So
All right,
I think
fair.
Rodgers is done as a Jet. I don't know. Maybe he'll be a Panther or something next year.
Anyway, to close out this segment there, this happened on Midwest Jets' birthday. So
That's right.
happy birthday, Midwest Jet.
Happy Happy birthday, our dear friend Midwest Jet.
We completely forget you when we talk about the Jets, okay? Because we love you and we don't want you to think that our Jets talk has anything to do with how we feel about you, buddy, because we love you to death. We love your correspondence and we hope to keep it for. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this firing, actually.
I
So,
mean, it's not like with Jazz where we like the Giants, we just hate him. I'm
right.
just kidding. Jazz is a very dear friend of mine, so yeah, no, the we
You
just
guys actually got to, you've met both of them in person now.
I did. Yeah, no, Jazz came for the draft, and I got to see him be very happy about Malik Neighbors, and he got to see me be very upset about that Aaron, what's his name from Arizona, who's now injured. So here we go. Speaking of injuries, um, or more specifically wieners, Deshaun Watson, and the Browns.
You know what I'm talking about when I say this?
I thought you were just referencing that he just played poorly, but yeah, if you want to expand.
No. They had a situation, I mean, it was 24-3 at the point of this game, but they were going to go for it on fourth down. Coach was like, stay out there, play's coming in. He's like, nope. He walked off the field to his coach. He's like, kick it. He's like, I'm not going for it on basically, I'm not going for it on fourth down.
Right. I'm not gonna listen to what I'm not gonna do what the coach tells me to do, which
Dude,
is insane. It's
there,
insane.
there's no disciplinary action that you can do to him at this point because
You need him.
well, you've paid him to the point where you can't do anything about it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like, and
Dude, he would be $170 million cap hit if they cut him loose. And that's for one season next year.
God damn. Yeah, because
That
I
would
think,
be
yeah,
that'd be like 60% of your salary cap, 70%.
I mean, and that's usually what quarterbacks take, but like only the Browns, man. Only the Browns can make this many poor decisions at that position. It's unbelievable. They deserve it. I hate it. You know, I'm sure there's some very nice people in Cleveland. I bet there are people who are dying to see this Browns team be good. There is a reason this organization has never won a Super Bowl.
Sue watches every week, and I know that she's like between Cincinnati and Cleveland, and both of her teams are just reeling right now. So
But
sorry, Sue.
yeah, people in there's probably a lot of you know, Bengals fans in like the Louisville area of Kentucky. So Kentucky, Ohio, you have our sympathies. You still have Ohio State. They're still pretty good. Football, hockey season, you got the Columbus Blue Jackets. Anyways, um Devontae Adams. I'm I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss because it's like he's still got talent. He's willing to the Raiders have basically said they don't want him anymore. They said give us a second round pick and you can have him. And that's a second round pick for Devontae Adams. Like that's an easy decision to me if I'm a GM. Like, and he's even picked out like 8 teams that he wants to play for. He's like trade me here, trade me here, trade me here. Like, are they just that bitter in Vegas that he doesn't want to play? I mean, is he more injured than we think he is? Like, why has there been no move in a week and a half now?
Did see a clip where he said, and I apologize for language. He goes, "I got to get the fuck out of here, man." He's like, "I'm getting my ass fucking kicked." He's like, "I've never been had my ass kicked as many times as I do on this team. Think I got to get out of here, or I'm gonna die."
Yeah.
Basically, is what he said, and that's sad, dude. It makes me
It's
sad.
it's sad. I understand where he's coming from though. I'm not excusing it, but it's like you think about Devontae Adams' career. Like he spent what, like 10 years in Green Bay, running these posts, running these back shoulder fades, and he's got Rodgers putting the ball right where only he can catch it, only where he can make a play, where he can get into open space, where he's not taking hits over the middle. And then you go to Vegas, you got Jimmy Garoppolo kind of just tossing ducks, and you got to like grab it and then take a safety to the face.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it. I understand where he's coming from. I'm not excusing his behavior, but I understand like why he would be frustrated.
Oh yeah. I mean, frustration's one thing, but I feel like there's no one there for him to feel that with. So he's just like, I don't. it must suck to just be in a place where you are elite and there's no one around you that gets you or appreciates you, or you're an outlier in your own organization. That would suck. No matter how much money you're making, that would suck.
Well, and I think that this is the issue is that he took money. He didn't think the Packers were going to be able to recover, but post Rodgers, he wanted a new opportunity, and it's like this is where you landed. You were a free agent. You could have signed anywhere. You chose to go to the Raiders thinking that Derek Carr was going to be this elite quarterback and they weren't going to have organizational issues.
Do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think he broke up the band?
I don't know. I think that he may
Okay.
have been part of it. I think the Raiders were expecting him to get there and just be like this huge force of nature, and he just, he was mediocre. And so I think that them seeing that, like, they probably saw that his lack of production could have been a chemistry issue between him and Derek Carr. I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think that it's just a problem with coaching,
He
offense,
wouldn't
offensive
have
line.
Derek Carr as his number two on his list if he had a problem with Derek
Exactly. And he's
Carr.
like, and now he's asking to go to New Orleans and play with Carr again, or
Yeah.
to go to New York and play with Rodgers again. So it's like Devontae Adams is definitely a creature of habit. I think that he definitely contributed to the downfall of the Raiders offense. I don't think that he's solely responsible for it, though. I don't think you could look at a player
That's
like
I
Devontae
like.
Adams
Let
and
me
say like this
rephrase. I
player
meant
makes it
in Green
worse.
Bay. I meant in Green Bay.
Oh no,
He
no, no,
left.
no. Rodgers was the reason the band broke up, but the band needed to break up because they were playing shitty shows.
Okay. That
That's the
that's
thing.
that's what I want to know because the
It's like
band broke up.
Randall Cobb was done, Alan Lazard was done, Devontae Adams like was maybe 60% of the player that he was, and we had these hungry rookies. We had Romeo Dobbs, we have Dontavian Wicks, we got all these guys that are like ready to jump in there and start playing, and these guys are like, oh, I want to play for Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to play for some other guy. It's like, then fucking go. You don't want to be here. I don't want you. I'm not going to force you to be here. Like I said, go join the swim. Like I said it on the last show. Maybe if you don't want to play for this team, maybe football's not for you. Like if you don't think that the like I would, the Packers, if I was an NFL player, I would love to play in Wisconsin. Are you kidding me? But that's fine. Go to the
There's a
Jets.
bunch of teams that
Go
could
get
use
lit. Go get lit up by the Bills safeties every fucking week. Like, that's your business.
dude. To me, the one team you can't go to is the Jets, and here's why, dude. They just can't make another mistake like that. It would be a mistake. I don't care what rapport he has with Rodgers. Ain't himself. He ain't what he was when you guys played together, and neither are you. So trying to think that spending all that money on those two guys just to have them back together when they're former shadows of them former selves,
Yeah.
like it's a. I would laugh if they did. I would laugh
At
out
this point, go give a contract to Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. They're still alive.
loud.
Go do it. If you think that they're what they did in the past is indicative of what they can do in the NFL now, go do that. But I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
let's.
like, yeah, if they want to take a lesser contract and be a contributor, I would absolutely love to have Devontae Adams. But like, no. At this point, like maybe he'll be better on another team, but we'll see
Dude,
if he
is
even
Hassan Reddick still holding out for the Jets?
I haven't seen him on the field.
Jesus.
I've been
Woody
I've been watched
Johnson.
I watched like 3 or 4 Jets games this year. I haven't seen him on the field yet. So
Woody Johnson needs to get on that and get him back on there because I
no.
mean, they need every all the help they can get. But
I mean, they're going fire sale in New York anyways. Like they already fired Sala. I don't think that they're interested in Devontae unless Aaron Rodgers is real. If the Jets take Devontae, we know Aaron Rodgers is 100% running everything over
yeah, but I also feel like he won't tell him to get him because then he will have zero excuses for poor play.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers will always find an excuse for poor play, man. Like he'll blame the defense, he'll blame the fans, he'll blame like, you know, some crazy ayahuasca generated hallucination. Like there's Aaron Rodgers will always find a fucking excuse. He won't take accountability. Um,
I love.
moving to the east, where the leaves are changing, and now so is the quarterback. Mayo's had enough with Jacoby Brisket and is Drake May coming in. The Tar Heel.
Yeah. Um, boy, he came in one game and just got roasted. Offensive line was like, "Who's this kid?" Nope. Go ahead and take your shots at him. So this is a tough game to bring him in. I don't know that I would do that here, but
I'm gonna say
wow.
because yeah.
At least it's a home game.
Oh my God, against the Texans.
So we'll see. We'll
You know
see.
what? I might put a bet on this game because yeah, Drake. Oh my God, Drake.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to the games, and you can give me your wild
I
prediction.
unbelievable. Pittsburgh. Um, offense falters. Justin Fields has kind of an off game in the rain, and Dallas gets a win. So now is it time for
Well,
is it time for Tom Hanks' favorite volleyball to take the field?
he he was the emergency third quarterback in full pads. But this guy is so cornball, dude. At the beginning of the game, he still got the captain on his jersey, right? Because he was named the captain before the injury.
Right, right, right.
He's standing out there uh in front of everybody, waiting for for the lights to go down so they could all run out. He's standing in front. Everybody's behind him, and I'm just like,
As a QB3, I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
And I'm just like, that's like the most Russell Wilson thing you could possibly do.
I mean,
But I think his time is. I think he'll play this year. That's all I'm
I
gonna.
we'll see what happens because who's Pittsburgh playing this week? Pittsburgh is against the Raiders. Okay. I mean, it's possible. It's possible if we'll see. Like I said, I said it on our prediction show. I will never tell Mike Tomlin that he's making the wrong call. Like because I figure he's a coach that I have so much respect for that like if he whoever he puts on the field, he has a reason to. And if Russell gets on the field, it means that he's been playing well in practice. It means that he has good relationship with the guys on there, that he's shown what he needs to show. And the fact that he was named the starting quarterback before his injury, I know that it was close, but the fact that he was named the starter, I think really speaks volumes to the fact that he does still have some ability.
Well, and Tomlinson, he doesn't react. He's not a reactionary dude. He's not a guy that's going to make these calls based on emotion. He's not going to see one bad play at a Justin Fields and be like, "All right, you're out." This is something that's going to happen at either like a halftime, not in the middle of a game, not in the middle of a drive. It's going to be a halftime thing or a beginning of the new game thing. Um, because he knows when you do something like that, like to us, the viewer, it seems like nothing. But these guys have had reps with them all week.
Oh
They're
yeah,
part of the game plan. Like switching a quarterback in the middle of a drive is never ideal. Never, unless it's part of your package. That
I've
you
never seen a quarterback. I've never seen a quarterback get benched in the middle of a drive in the
Yeah.
pros.
So I mean, or even like throw an interception in the middle of a quarter and then you've seen that before, but that's never ideal. And Mike
Right.
Tomlin's not that guy. He's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean,
like,
it's like this is the NFL. These guys are pros. Like it's like sometimes you'll see it in college or like even like high school, like JUCO level. Like if a quarterback is having a bad game, they'll like take him out for a series just to like let him get his head together, let him know like, hey, I need you to play better or else you're gonna lose your spot. Like none of that's gonna happen in the
see,
NFL.
that's what puts Tomlin among the greats, dude, because that was Pete Carroll was that way. He wouldn't make gut decisions, neither would Belichick. These guys were very like, we know when to make this change, and it ain't at this particular time. No matter how mad I am at you.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
it'll be interesting to see.
but it's
Because
also like the NFL, you can lose a couple of games and still win the Super Bowl, no problem. So
yeah,
it's like you understand. Like college, it's like if your quarterback goes out there and throws a duck and you're like about to lose your chance to make the playoff, like yeah, you might need to make a change.
but that's
Uh,
why this 12-team system needed to happen for so long, dude. Because the one thing that sucked about college football is if your quarterback was hurt week one and you lose to a non-conference team, you're done.
yeah, especially
Done.
before. before any playoffs, when it was just two teams, you had to
Yeah,
win the whole season. You couldn't
you're
lose a
done.
game. Yeah.
You're done. So this playoff, I mean, yeah, losing to Vanderbilt sucks, but they can just immediately put it
Yeah.
behind them and not
Alabama
be
will
like,
still
we're
be in the
done.
playoff. Like, especially if they come back and win the SEC. That's one loss. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're going to be in the SEC
that's
playoff
fine. And then
or
they
the
got to
SEC.
play the games in the playoffs. Let the best
Yeah,
teams win.
especially after they beat Georgia. Anyways, back to the pros. Sad news. Pat Fisher, three-time Pro Bowler, defensive back for St. Louis and Washington, passes away at 84. Played in the league 17 years, leaves quite a legacy. Our condolences to his family. A shout out to a great man. We'll see if he ends up in Canton, but yeah, it's very very sad. Seems like he lived a pretty long life though. So
Yeah. And
it's
then I didn't get to see him play, but he's a legend. He's an NFL legend. I know the name for sure.
I was
So
like, yeah. I mean, it definitely a lot of the older guys, man. I mean, it's they echo through the halls of history. So yeah, I mean, if you ever get a chance, if you're strolling along, you see NFL Network if they're playing an old Rams or an old Redskins game, maybe check it out. Check out Pat Fisher. Maybe he'll get a pick for you. Um, Injuries. Derek Carr. It's got an oblique. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Who's the backup in New Orleans?
was Taysom Hill, but is it
Taysom Hill's hurt too.
is it it's not Winston, is it?
Is Jameis Winston still in the NFL? I gotta look this up. I have to like when I have to look it up in the
I
middle of
had
this.
it on our sheet, team report.
Let's see here.
New
Saints.
Orleans car Al oh, I had Taysom Hill as the backup, but he's hurt too. Who came in?
Okay.
Somebody came in for him.
Second string is Jake Hayner.
There you go, Hayner.
And then finally, this sounds like their third string sounds like a guy from like NFL Blitz. Spencer Rattler.
Old
Spencer
Spence.
I expect him to have like a big snake tattoo on his cheek.
Dude, can I know this is weird, but why wouldn't Cleveland give DTR a start? Like if Deshaun Watson's this guy you drafted DTR, David Thompson Robinson is who I'm talking about, obviously. Why wouldn't you give him a start? If your other quarterback's gonna give up on you and you're obviously going down the shitter as it is, I know this is an inappropriate time to bring that up, but
Oh no, I mean I don't think you're off base though. I mean, I think it's just the money. It's like you pay him so much money, you want him on the field because you know that like what he can do, what he's done in the past, what he's like his potential. But like Cleveland's at that point, man, where it's like you're losing not you're losing games with him. Like so, whatever you put another guy in, what's it going to hurt? Maybe it shakes him up a bit.
I mean that's what I would do.
Anyways, fuck Cleveland. Um, in Seattle, you guys lose Chenna Nwosu to the injured reserve, so he's done.
Dude, he got hurt in the only preseason game that he played. He came back and made it through like a quarter and a half. He's like the new Jamal Adams. It's sad. He's one
You
of our
guys have
best
bad luck
players.
with injuries, yeah.
He's one of our best players. And like I said, we're already linebacker short.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
let's we'll see if
whatever.
Brock Purdy wants to. I think George Kittle might have a big game here against you fellas because yeah, you need linebackers to play coverage.
Yep.
Um, which is a good transition to picks.
Well, let's talk about bye week first. I gotta
Oh,
get
okay. Let's talk about bye week first.
we got
Uh,
Kansas City, the Rams, Miami Dolphins, and the Minnesota. They don't have games this week. They're on bye. So
Minnesota Football Vikings. Is it interesting that both of the undefeated teams are having a bye on the same week?
oh, the NFL scheduled this so perfectly. And
Something to
then
think about.
two teams that
Uh,
should have been up for second in the division. that are both dead last.
Right, right. Yeah, two teams like that we thought like Miami, man. Like I cannot they're just done, man. Like they're done. Like they have no hope. I don't even like who can play quarterback who's on that roster. Um, at this point, yeah, I would just start doing Wildcat and give Tyreek the ball every single play. Um, and then the Rams, I mean, yeah, I mean the Rams are also kind of decimated by injuries right now, so it might be a good time to take a bye, try to get a couple of guys healthy for the week after. But like we talked about on the pick show, NFC West is wide open. None of those teams are standing out to me. I mean, Seattle might be the best team in the league,
Got to beat the Giants if you want to say that.
and that's it's pretty tragic. It's pretty tragic to lose that game and still be the best team in that league, possibly. Um, picks.
Packs.
You got a national broadcast coming up, buddy. Your Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football hosting the dreaded San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy. This is a harder game than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to let you make our first pick.
Well, I'm gonna pick that we lose 3 games in a row. Um, and here's the thing. While I am not afraid of Brock Purdy, and I certainly think that we're not out of it before the game starts by any stretch of the imagination, watching in consecutive weeks Jared Goff go 18 for 18 and set a fucking record. And then I watched Daniel Jones have a quarterback rating of over 100 in our building en route to a victory. It wasn't dominating. All right. Gino's numbers were still better. But uh I just I think Brock Purdy's better than both of those guys. So yeah. The rest of the 49ers scare me to death. I think we'll do all right offensively. I see this as a high scoring game, honestly. I think it'll be around 27-31 is what I'm gonna say. And I pick San Francisco to win. Even though that makes me want to vomit in my mouth.
I mean,
Uh,
that is the sign of a true football pundit picking a rival in an away game over your favorite team. Um, so the tenets of game theory say I should pick Seattle. I am gonna pick Seattle. Um, it's a home game. It's a primetime game. I think that Brock Purdy I think it will probably be pretty high scoring, especially because Purdy is going to find George Kittle's going to have a big game. I could see Debo having a big game. Mason is probably going to get some yards. I see San Francisco scoring about 35 points. I'm going to give Seattle 38, 38-35. Um, Primetime shootout. Gino throws at least 4 tutties. Jackson Smith and Jigba has a big game. DK Metcalf has a big game. Seattle's defense isn't going to do much. So, like I said, 38-35. Taking Seattle at home could really go either way, but I'm going to take it because you took the
wow,
Niners.
that almost feels like an overtime
Could possibly.
game. One thing I
Free
know,
football.
it
Don't hate it.
will be fucking loud there. That's one thing I know for sure.
100%. The 12s are going to be there.
Yeah.
And you know what? San Francisco has lost some pretty winnable games this year, and I see them losing a pretty winnable game here. Um, all right. Hang on to your crumpets. Put some beans on your toast. Put an extra layer on your bus. We're going to London. Chicago hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars in the land of the Kings. Um, I'm going to throw it out there. I think Chicago had a great game last week. They're going to lose this one. And the reason why is because it's not a home game. It is a home game for Jacksonville because they are going to be in London in the near future. Duval County does not deserve a professional team, and the European market has proved they love the Jaguars. So they don't care about the Bears. All they know about the Bears is the fucking Chris Farley skit from the 90s, like and Fred Savage's shirt in The Princess Bride. So like, yeah, Jacksonville, they're gonna go to England and they're gonna get a win against the Bears here. I'm gonna say it's gonna be close. Caleb's playing okay. Smith is playing great. 27-21, Jaguars.
Man, you blow my mind sometimes,
I
Gobo,
do. I do.
because all I heard this weekend on my text was, God, Jacksonville's ass.
They
Well,
suck, man. They're not good, but
I'm
they'll
like,
win this one.
well, and here's the thing, man. And I'm like, they're gonna go on a run, bro. But it ain't gonna start now. It ain't gonna start now. So we're differing in the first two games. I'll take your score 27-21, but I'm going for Chicago in London town.
Don't you want to go sweet home, Chicago?
Am I confident? No.
I'm not. I'm gonna just. I'm not confident in honestly any pick this week.
I
I
love
mean,
it. I love it.
there's so many. There's so many trap games on this schedule. There's so many really easy like good matchups. Like Seattle and San Francisco is a really good matchup because
Let's
both
talk
teams.
about the schedule, dude.
Yeah,
Look, as we look at each game, like this is the week Seattle should play San Francisco.
right.
Based on what's happened now, it would be for the division lead because they'll tie us if they win, but they'll have us be in the lead because it's a tiebreaker because of the head to head, right? And neither team has been super impressive, but how could they have known this, right? And then you've got Jacksonville and Chicago, two teams that we've been like, this, they
Yeah.
blow. And now they get to heat it up against each other. I'm
No.
excited to watch
Like
both of those games.
like honestly, and Baltimore, Washington, the next game we're going to talk about is a
Dude,
great game. New Orleans, Tampa Bay is a great game. The Denver and the Chargers is a great game.
and I
Uh,
told you this, Gobo.
fucking the Bengals and Giants is going to be a great game.
It's like the NFL schedulers, and I don't want to praise too much of the NFL, but like this, it's like the schedulers had like the UFC visions, like where one week you would fight this guy, and based on the results, this is now your opponent the next week. And that's what's lining up for a lot of these games. They just make sense. So I've said it 3 weeks in a row. Kudos to the NFL schedulers. It's a great slate of games, at least these last 3 weeks. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the year, but wow.
I was going to say, and I'm excited for this next one. Um, Baltimore.
I have to pick first.
I was going to say I know who you're going to pick, but
No, you don't.
Baltimore is hosting the Commanders. um, which these two teams are extremely close to each other. So it's like, they probably practice together. The players probably go to the bars together. Like,
They
you
fly into
know,
the same airport.
they fly out of the same airport. Our nation's capital is sandwiched by these two teams, and now they're meeting. And this is maybe the first time that it's not an easy pick for Baltimore. So I am going to it's your turn to make the pick. Um, Rub some stank on it.
All right. Well, the game's in Baltimore, but it's also in Washington. So are there going to be a lot of Washington fans there? You bet your dick there will be, especially with the start that they're off to. God dang. I think Washington is just getting started on what's going to be an excellent season and what's going to be an excellent career. Hopefully that lasts for many years and he doesn't go down the Robert Griffin Jr., Robert Griffin III, because that field tears people apart, dude. That field, I don't know if they've done anything about it recently, but it was injuries galore trying to run around on that field. And if you're a quarterback and you twist your ankle one time, guess what? You come back from that injury, but It's about the mentals.
Mm-hmm.
You're always thinking, if am I going to take that step? I remember what it felt like. And you see guys now treating it different. So that said, I'm hoping for injury-free game from both teams, obviously, always. But I think it's a little too big for Washington this time. I'm taking Lamar. I really want to pick Washington because I want this. So I will be happy if they win. Um, because I want to keep seeing them at the top of the division. But I think Baltimore's got this one, and I'm gonna say, God, they've been scoring a ton of points. 38-37, Baltimore.
38-37
What you
Baltimore.
got? What you got? That's not who you thought I was gonna pick.
Not at all. Not at all. And I was actually going to agree with you if you picked Washington because I'm picking them too. Because I look at this game.
I love this pick for you, Gobo.
I know you do. And the reason I'm picking Washington is they have shown consistently over the last couple of weeks they can score points, they can cause turnovers, they can play defense. Their quarterback is good under pressure, and as good as Lamar is, as good as the Ravens are, they have faltered. They have shown their underbelly. They've lost a couple of games, and I just see that like when it comes down to it, it is momentum is a huge thing in this game, and Washington has all of it right now. So I know it's a home game, like you said. These are the same fans. It's the same metro area. It's all Washington D.C. and Baltimore are right next to each other. So it's like I'm going to take Washington. I think that it will be, I'm going to say 35-28. I think that Washington gets out to a big lead. Baltimore fights back. They try to turn the momentum. Washington finds a way to close it out, wins by 7.
Dude, I really like your score.
Thank you. Speaking of scores I'm gonna like, or that you're gonna like, Arizona coming to the Bay and meeting up with my boys here. So, it's my pick first. Um, I'm not picking the Packers because I mean I am going to pick the Packers. The reason I'm picking the Packers is not because um because I'm biased. I am biased, but like um I do think that they're better here. I think that the Packers, the two games that we've lost have been against really elite offenses. I know that you have your doubts about Philly, and I think that some of them are valid. The fact of the matter is the Packers have played dominant. They've played in close games. They've made mistakes. They've come back from them. They've won. They've played clutch. They've played consistently. And the teams that Arizona have beat have not been able to do that. So that's why I think the Packers are definitively the best team on paper. It's a home game. It's a morning game. Like crisp Lambeau air. Boys from Arizona are going to come out there. They're going to be confident after beating San Francisco. Packers 28, Arizona 13.
All right. I hope that you're right because I need our division rivals to lose. I'm, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Green Bay a lot. Um, I'm gonna say 25-23 Green Bay, and that will be good enough for me.
Okay.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna be problematic.
I think
Kyler
he's
running around like
problematic
fucking
against any
Mario.
team.
Him and Kyler Murray running around like Mario is the only thing that really scares me about
That's
that.
all they got. That's all they got. I mean, yeah, it's like with James Conner's their running back. Like, who cares?
But
I just
here's the thing though, like I see Justin Fields running around and he's great, but Kyler Murray's tiny. And he like seriously like boing boing like that's what you could put the Mario music behind his run plays and
I
he
was I always think of that when I see Kyler running around, I just think about that meme where he's like, "I'm fast as fuck, boy." Like, yeah, Like I just imagine him yelling that at everybody as he's running around. He's very fast. He's very agile. He's an athletic dude. And I think I'm not saying that we're gonna shut the Cardinals out. I think that we still win the game. Um, okay, a little bit another one that maybe a potentially easy pick. New England hosts Houston, the premiere of Drake May.
Yeah. Drake May has 3 interceptions in his debut, a la Peyton Manning, and Houston wins 35-12.
I literally I you took the words right out of my mouth. This game is not going to be interesting. The Patriots suck. Drake May is not NFL ready. Houston's one of the best teams in the AFC. Yeah. 35-13.
I like it. New England, right?
Texas boys.
New England,
Um,
right? Just kidding.
anyways.
Another game. This is the game that should happen right now.
NFL or NFC South showdown. Saints Bucks in the Big Easy. I'm excited for this game, man.
Me
I really
too.
this is going to
I
be
wish Carr was playing, but
yeah, that's a big one. Um this one's tough. Even with a backup quarterback, they still got Kamara, they still got that defense, they still got Mike Williams, they still got Olave. Fuck, man, this is a tough pick. I'm gonna take Tampa. I'm gonna take Tampa. I hate it. I'm gonna take Tampa so you don't have to. So because I know you're gonna take because I think whoever picks who should pick the other one. Um, I'm gonna take Tampa on the road. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think that Tampa's they're reeling a little bit from losing their quarterback and getting worked by the Chiefs a little bit. Um, Tampa is they're coming in also off of a loss, but it is a closer one. A lot of domes in the South, I just noticed. It's kind of the same situation. So I think Tampa will be ready. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a good game. Um, I think this one goes to overtime, and I'm going to say 24-21. Oh no, 27-21 because New Orleans will not get the ball in overtime.
OT, Tampa Bay. All right. All right, Gobo. Well, here's what I think. I think I can't pick New Orleans with Derek Carr gone.
Ah,
It's just not fair to me that you get Baker Mayfield and I get it's like the movie Twins, dude. Like you're Schwarzenegger and I'm all the shit
you're,
left
you're
over.
Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
I
fair.
mean,
Uh here's the thing though. Hurricane Milton is currently about to rain down on Tampa. So those a lot of people on that team, while they're not playing in Tampa, are going to be worried about their homes. They got other things on their mind, let's just say, than football. But I don't think it's enough to overcome New Orleans missing Derek Carr. Now, I don't know if this strengthens or weakens that opinion, but if they were playing at the level that they played the first 2 weeks, and then Derek Carr went out, I definitely wouldn't be able to. I don't think in good conscience I could choose, but I haven't seen anything of this new quarterback to make me think that he certainly didn't get anything done against Kansas City. So I had 24-21 in regulation, Tampa. And I don't want to lose the game because the quarterback is missing. So,
I mean that's valid.
sorry.
You know, you pick with your brain, not your heart. Um, Philly hosts Cleveland. I know you've been down on Philly, but Deshaun Watson. I mean, I'm like I said, it's your pick. And yeah, I want to hear your perspective here.
Dude, Philly, I don't like them. I did have them as my division winner before the season started. Had Washington second, Dallas third. And so I have to pick along those lines. Um, I do think Philly is barely a better program. I mean, they're definitely a better franchise. But here's the problem in Philly right now. They're having some coaching dilemmas as well. Um, Jalen Hurts is not a fan of coach, coordinator, and he's oftentimes getting plays called from both of them, and it's turning into a power struggle of who he listens to. And they lost Jason Kelsey. Obviously, he's doing Buffalo Wild Wings and pretty much everything else on the planet because he's everywhere. I just got Philadelphia 19-17 because Cleveland is such a terrible organization. So terrible.
So,
Sorry, Browns fans. The NFL's better when the Browns are not cave dwellers.
I mean, that's true. I don't, yeah, I hate dunking on the Browns because like you already live in Cleveland, and so it's like I understand. Well, I mean, the Guardians are doing great, so you know what? It's baseball. Um, so I'm definitely also picking Philly. I'm not as down on the Eagles as you are. I think that the Eagles are a fairly good team. I think they've taken some licks. I think they've had some injury issues. I think losing Jason Kelsey is a big thing. I think Jalen Hurts is definitely not like an MVP caliber guy. I think that he's consistent, but they do have a guy named Saquon Barkley. And with Myles Garrett dealing with some injuries, with the Browns defense not really knowing what the hell they're doing, kind of struggling against mid-tier teams, Saquon is gonna feast on Sunday. So I say Philly wins big. 38-13. Saquon runs for a couple tutties. Hurts throws a couple of tutties, couple turnovers. It's gonna be a bad day to be a Browns fan. That's how I see it. I agree. I want the Browns to be good, but not with the guys who are on the roster right now.
Yeah, I got you.
You got me. All right. Next one. This one could be an interesting game.
It should
Um,
happen. This game should be on the schedule. Just
I mean, it's a division game. So I mean, yeah, these teams are going to play each other. The Titans host the Colts. Man, I don't know who to pick here. Um,
I'm picking whoever you know.
I know, yeah, that's fair. If Robinson plays, the Colts win. I don't think he's going to play this week. Um, we're looking at Jonathan Taylor maybe having a good game. My God, I'm flipping a pog. I can't pick.
I'm
I'm flipping. I'm flipping for it.
Flipper.
Um, because this game, and these teams are not good right now. I think they both have potential to be good. Um, but who they have on the roster right now
Hold
is
on.
not.
I think we should make a rule.
What's that?
If it's your pick first,
Uh-huh.
picking you're flipping a pog for your pick, I can't let my opinion be based on a pog flip. So let me pick, and
You
then
want to pick first? Okay,
you.
yeah, I'll let you take this pick.
I
That's
think
fine.
that if you're gonna flip a pog, the other person should get to pick first.
Works for
I
me,
don't want to
man.
be stuck with I don't want to be stuck with Tennessee if you get Indianapolis on a flip. I'll
Okay.
take Tennessee if your opinion is Indianapolis, but I don't want to lose that on a flip. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
got you. I got you.
All right,
All
I'm
right.
going Colts. Colts 32-28.
Okay. That's a lot of offense for some teams with no quarterbacks. All right, so here's what I'm flipping. It is a Planet X. It's got this kind of goofy looking Legends of the Hidden Temple guy. That's our heads. So that's Tennessee, and the Colts is the back official slammer jammer slammer whammers pog from the 90s. All right, here we go. Colts.
Whew.
I'm taking the Colts. 17-14. Because I don't know. I don't know who wins this game. I think it'll be a good game though.
It's
I might
hard,
be.
man. Tough
It's
game.
hard. Both these teams are struggling right now. They got
This
injured.
next game should happen, and it's hard.
This next game I'm actually kind of excited about. Denver Broncos have won 3 games in a row with their rookie quarterback. The Chargers, with their new coach Justin Herbert, they're looking pretty slick. They're looking pretty slick, man. Like they're coming off of a bye. This is a tough game, and it's in Denver. Um, I guess it's technically your pick since I flipped for it last time. So you let me know. What do you think?
Okay, well, I, dude, two awesome coaching. It's an awesome coaching matchup, man. These guys can't like each other at all.
Oh my God.
They
They
can't
either they either love each other or they're gonna get in a fist fight after the game.
I really like what I'm seeing out of Denver. I don't necessarily love what I'm seeing out of the Chargers, but I don't hate it. I haven't seen enough of it. I'm gonna go. I gotta give it to Denver, man. I'm gonna give it to Denver for a fourth consecutive win. Uh, I don't know. I like the Bo Nix story. I do like Justin Herbert, but nobody's talking about him. And nobody talks about Justin Herbert anymore. He's a We're so over it. 21-20. Denver in a heater.
Horsemen. I wish I knew what uniforms the Broncos were playing in.
Dude, were those not come
I
on.
love them. I love them.
Come
I
on,
do.
man.
Dude, the
That
Orange
was so
Crush, the
awesome.
spitting horse, like, and it doesn't help that their new uniforms look like garbage. Like, I hate the Broncos' new uniforms. That's why if I knew the Broncos were playing in the Orange Crush jerseys, I'd pick them all day. But since they just did last week, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be in their normal, like, fucking gradient, like, prison uniforms that they released this year. So I'm going to take the Chargers. Um, I think Herb, this is a big moment for him. This is the moment where you have to say to the world, I am ready with this coaching staff. I am ready with this roster. I can win big games. If he can't win this game, the Chargers need to rethink Justin Herbert. I'm just saying, this is a big moment for him. And
Maybe he
I
goes
think
to
I
Miami.
think Harbaugh has him ready. I think Sean Payton is not as good of a coach as everybody thinks he is. I think the Broncos are playing well. Pat Surtain is on fire right now, but if they pass the ball to the other side, like I'm not sold on Javonte Williams. I'm not sold on Cortland Sutton. And I think that Bo Nix is going to be a good quarterback. I think that he still has some work to do. Chargers win this game 27-17. Couple of bad turnovers in the fourth quarter. Um, Chargers take control and keep up with the Chiefs in the division race.
What
All
was your
right.
score? I'm sorry, I missed your score.
27-17 Clippers.
Clippers. All right.
Every time I see LAC, that's all I can think of.
Yep, I got you.
Um, all right. Gonna set our soul on fire. Viva Las Vegas, Steelers, Raiders. Um, fucking Steelers. Steelers, obviously. Like I don't see a scenario where the Raiders win this game. Um, I don't care who plays Justin Fields, um, Russell Wilson. I don't give a shit. The Steelers are going to win this game. There's no. I think Max Crosby will keep the Raiders in it for a while. I think maybe they bust out like second half. Pittsburgh starts opening up 37-20. Steelers on the road.
All right. You heard it here first. The Raiders win this game
Okay.
by 4 points, 20-24. And week 7, Russell Wilson starts. How you feel about that, Haas?
I love it. I love seeing you be wrong because it benefits me
You know what?
directly.
Every time you've said that, I've been right.
Everybody, you know what? I also like seeing you right because you're my dear friend. So,
But every time
um,
you said you love seeing me wrong, just so you know, every time I've been right.
I know that's why I love making these wild predictions because it's like whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, it's good entertainment. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's possible. Like I said, it's another this game. Every time I see the Steelers, I'm like, man, this game would have been so fun in the '70s. Um, but I'm thinking like, yeah, the John Madden Raiders and the Terry Bradshaw Steelers and the Steel Curtain and all and the black hole, all that shit. Whatever. These
And that's
teams
what
are
makes
not
this
in
a
their
perfect
prime.
that's what makes this a perfect matchup for this week. Another one. Like this is you got two classic rivalries in a row.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Dallas and Pittsburgh to the Ra I mean, they're like
I feel like these teams played each other in the playoffs like 10 years in a row. Between like 1974 to 1984. I feel like they played each other every single year. But I'm not basing that off anything. It's just that's what the feeling was. Um, this game, I honestly don't even know if this game is going to happen. Like, is it going to be safe to play a football game in Charlotte, like with the hurricane? I'm assuming that they're going to take care of that in some capacity. I mean, this would be a huge win for Carolina if they could pull it off. It's your pick. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. But
well, no,
Atlanta going to Hurricane Town.
they can't pull it off. Um, I don't care how inconsistent Atlanta is. Carolina's bad. So I'm gonna say 34-17 in favor of the Atlanta Hawk Falcons.
Yeah, you know what? I that there's just no third direction. There's just not a second direction to this game. Like Atlanta's better. They're better on every aspect of the game. They have a better kicker. They have a better quarterback. They have a better running back. They have a better offensive line. Like it's they're gonna win. I don't see a scenario where Carolina wins this game. Um, yeah, 34-10. Maybe the game ends after the third quarter because the hurricane conditions are persistent. Um, who knows? I just yeah, Carolina loses again. All right, up next, a game I'm excited for because I don't know which team is more inconsistent in this matchup, which team wants the other team to win more, like the Giants, the Bengals. If you asked me at the beginning of the season who wins this game, I would have said Bengals, 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 Bengals. At this point, I don't fucking know. Like Daniel Jones found a way to beat Seattle. I think he found their one weakness, was able to hang on to the ball, play keep away. They got it done. The Bengals went up. They were winning the game against the Ravens. Found a way to lose. I don't fucking know who to pick in this game. It's driving me crazy. Like my mind is doing somersaults right now because I don't know which team is worse. Um, I don't want to live in a world where the Giants win two games in a row, so I'm gonna pick Cincinnati. Um, I Jesus Christ, I don't fucking know what a score is. 24-21. Just because it's like the most common NFL score ever. I fuck this game, but it's gonna be fun to watch.
All right. You are losing your mind over nothing, sir. Let me walk you back a bit, okay?
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's look at week 5. Cincinnati barely lost in overtime to Baltimore. Do you think the Giants could hang with Baltimore?
I would certainly pick the Baltimore. I would certainly pick Baltimore.
You made the right call, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Can't even believe you let this charade of a win against Seattle even make you think that the Giants are they might not win another game.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I'm embarrassed. It's not hard for me to show my face today because I didn't play in the game. Like, but honestly, and it's not even I can take all the shit that you want to throw at me about how bad that game was for us, but it I didn't play it. Like, you gotta and Jazz is right about one thing. You gotta play the games. But I think even if what's his face has to come in for Burrow again, that they still are a much better team than the Giants. This is a no contest. I think your score is way too close. I think this is going to be 34, put up 38 against Baltimore. 34-13. That's what I think of the Giants.
I mean, say different path to the finish, but I think we're getting there at the same time. Um, yeah, we'll see. I think honestly, if the Giants win this game, it is bad for the organization because the Giants, you need to just focus on next year.
I think it's bad for Jass's mental health if they win
Yeah,
this
I don't want that, but
because he's already got delusions of play.
well, as much as I love Jazz, he's one of the more delusional football fans I've ever met. But as a Giants fan, I understand that. Like you have to have hope. And like to watch your team squander just resource after resource after resource, like looking at your Super Bowl trophies and how they're getting further and further away, and just watching them say like Daniel Jones is our guy. We don't need Saquon. Like, how the fuck do you like feel good about your team going into the season? So like I get it. I love
Dude,
your
you
teams, but yeah,
said
your
something
Giants
there,
are dog shit.
which is kind of how I felt talking to. I was like, I'm just going to congratulate him and move on and hope that that's the end of it. But now I had to post his gloating video, which I'm happy to do on TikTok. I'm
It's
talking,
it's part of the
but
program, and
I'm
like,
like,
yeah, that's what we do.
I I like take a little bit of pause and like you beating Seattle being your Super Bowl this year. Like, so let's just back up just a bit. Yeah, we
Well,
were 3-1 at the time that you beat us, but
well, think about it though. Like, if they don't win another game this year, that was their Super Bowl. Oh, poor
all right.
guys.
Yeah, week 5 Super Bowl party.
Week 5 Super Bowl party. Um, got the name of our new album. Um, the Jets, Monday Night Football, Jets, Bills. Do we? This is another one where I'm going to encourage you. Don't think too hard about this one, but I'm going to
No,
let
I
you.
haven't thought about it at all. My score is 140-7, and I'm going Buffalo.
140. Yeah. It's going to be ugly. Sauce, if they do pass like the 50 mark, I think Sauce Gardner probably requests a trade after the game. Um, but I don't think they will. Buffalo wins this game easily, very easily. I mean, whatever interim coach is not going to be ready for the fire that Josh Allen is going to rain on these poor guys after that tough loss in Houston last week. Um, Buffalo's better. It's another one of those games where they're better on every aspect of the game. Um, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, just retire, man. Like it's embarrassing. Buffalo 44, Jets 17.
140-7, Jobo.
That'd be quite the thing. That would be quite the experience to watch every scoring record get broken. Um, that's it. That's football. That's what you ordered.
Take your picks in the comments.
Yes. Also, let me check our comments from last week. Let's see if I have a jersey for next week.
Watch the recap show. Hey, you guys need to make Gobo wear a. Oh, I had this. Why didn't I think about it when we got there, man?
Hang on, I'm looking. So week 5. Oh shit, hang on. I looked up lock 22. It brought up for a video about a lock, like an actual lock. I'm like, hey, hang on. Okay, season 3, week 5 predictions. Okay, let's see. Comments, picks, just picks. And Angry Panda Poet welcoming me back. Thank you, Panda. Okay. Well, if you guys don't make a comment on this video, I'll just wear Packers shit.
Yeah, I like that. Also want to remind everyone that on the Thursday night game, Seattle will be wearing the 90s throwback uniform. So at least it'll look good on TV. I do love that uniform, man.
It's a great uniform. I love the throwbacks, man. It's sad to me that the Packers have had the same uniform since like the 1960s, but like whatever.
Well, and that's why I was like, when we played Denver on opening weekend and we wore ours, I was like, that would have been so cool to have them wear theirs. Be like the old
I know.
AFC
I
West
mean,
days.
old AFC West rivalry, yeah. Like
They dropped the
I
ball.
would have wanted that, but we didn't get it.
They dropped the ball. Anyway, good show, man.
Anyways, yeah, no, it was a great time. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Drop your picks down there, compete with us. Yeah, as you can see on our results show, we talked about the couple of guys who gave their picks in the comments last week. If you want to join us, feel free. We love to hear your opinions. Talk about why we're wrong. Our most popular video on TikTok is Vikings fans dunking on me for that pick I made a couple of weeks ago. Join in. We love it. We absolutely love you guys for coming and talking to us about football. Like, share, subscribe, watch all the other Lock 22 stuff. We talk about movies, we talk about comic books, we talk about other sports. We have Dame's works. I mean, he basically never leaves that room. I mean, he works nonstop, bringing you guys content for anything you could possibly enjoy. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go all of your favorite teams, unless you're an Arizona fan. And we'll
That's
see
a
you
good
next week.
point. Hey, go all your teams, but also if you want to be a correspondent for Lock 22, send me a message because it's really simple. All you need, really, Gobo, tell them. All you need is a cell phone and 2 minutes.
I mean, yeah,
I do the rest.
for those TikTok prediction videos, like if you want to throw together a video talking shit about a team, talking good about your team, if you have an opinion that you really want out there and you want to share it on the Lock 22 network, then send us a DM and you can record something with your cell phone. Dames will put it on a filter for you and put it on TikTok and you can be on Lock 22.
Any
It's that
sport.
easy. Any sport, anything that you would think about. Yeah. I think that there's very few things we won't put you on air for.
Very good.
Yeah. Anyways, have a great week, everybody. Go football. We'll see you next time. Love you to death. Go Pack Go.
Thanks, Gobo. Much love to you, brother.